Okay, Bismillah. This is more examples. Okay, your workbook, page 216. I want to do these class exercises together with you. Let's concentrate to do question A, B, and C. So we will do it together. Alright, so we're going to use this formula. There are 3 formulas for us to choose. So we need to convert it into this form before we can quote the answers given. Alright, so why don't you write the formula first, the question first, and then we compare work. Okay, everybody, try to get compare the format as in the formula. Recognize what is the A. Okay, so like this one, question A is similar to that first formula. You need to recognize the A square being 9. Okay, and then you can quote. And this portion B, it is quite similar to a format of 1 over a single radical. It is a format of the form of number 2, where the A square constant is 1. But here we need to simplify the U. We can take, let's say, for that B portion, question B, let's take the U square as the 3x square. Okay, so meaning the U is we square root both sides. Okay, square root both sides, so we get a square root both sides. For example, square root, we will get as a square root 3x. Okay, so you need to replace the dx in terms of U before you are able to compare. So differentiate this, we get square root 3. So replace your dx in terms of a du and see what happens. Okay, that would be the B. And then for the clue of C, okay, just now, okay, for the clue of A, we are to read the A square as 9. So meaning the A is the square root of 9, which is 3, right? So, and then what about C? C, we have this format, and again here, what is the A is similar to the format number 2 again, kan? The A square is 4, okay, so A is 2, and then for U square, we can say that let the U square as 3x square and the U as square root 3x. You need to substitute, change everything in terms of the U. So in other words, to say dx is actually du over square root 3. So why don't you replace, okay, and for example here A, when it's, go ahead of U, so this is a form of this thing. In terms of dx, we can quote the answer. Why don't you compare and quote the answer? But what about B? The B, as we substitute, this question B will become 1 over square root 1, A square is 1, minus U square is the 3x square, so this can be like that, U square. And dx, we need to replace the dx. Dx is du over square root. You can take the radical square root and then the du. Okay, so then you can compare to the answer, yeah? Okay, why don't you look into the answer and compare? This is square root 3. Compare answer. And then what about C? C means C, as we substitute, okay, we will get 1 over square root A square just now is the 2 square minus U square, and again what is dx? Dx is du over square root 3. Whenever you have a square root, a constant number, you can just take the constant number outside, and then you are left with an integral over this form. Right. So whenever you got this, then only you can quote the answer. why don't you pause this video and write the answer. Afterward, we will compare. So try ABC of your own. So these are my answers. Please check the work. Okay, you have to replace everything back into the x. So do we get the same answer? Okay, this is fun, right? Okay, because as if the answers are given to us. We just need to know where to look and how to use it. Okay, so this is actually equivalent to it. If it is not clear, look into your formula list. Alright, so we have done ABC. Next, let's concentrate on doing together the D and E. Okay, let's do D and E. Let me start it for you. For question D, we start with letting U square being e power 2x. Okay, so the U is e power x. Then you need to differentiate. So here it will test you whether or not you know how to differentiate this exponent. Look into your formula list for this. Okay, and then substitute everything in terms of a U, and then you are to compare. Okay, for the answer you have to compare. Here, let me give a clue. You have to compare with number 1, and be very careful here. The U in this formula is meant for the variable, as for the A is constant. Okay, and then E, start with the U square. U is a variable, x power 4, so U is x square. Differentiate so that you can substitute everything in terms of du, and then for the answer you are to compare. Here my clue, compare to the format number 3, okay, for your answer. Alright, why don't you pause this video and try of your own. Let me give you about 5 minutes. Alright, so let us compare the answer. Okay, so as we substitute, du is e power x dx. E power x dx is du 1 over 1 plus the constant A is 1 and the u square, okay, which is the e power 2x just now. Alright, when you got this format, compare to the answer. This is format of number 1. So it is 1 over A, our A is 1. Okay, 1 over A, 1. Inverse tangent, U over A again, 1. Replace back your U. Okay, 1 on 1 is 1. Don't write it down. So it is inverse tangent, U is e power x plus C. Don't forget that. So that is the answer for question D. Right? Next, let's compare answer for E. So I did halfway, so we need to differentiate. In order to replace our dx as du, we rearrange. So dx is actually du over x. There's still x there. Okay, so as we substitute, okay, 1 over, in the question there is x there. So we have the u square being x power 4, okay, minus, in a form of a square, this is 5 square. So another way to say, our A there, our constant there is 5. As you replace your dx is du on 2x. And up to this level, you cannot integrate just yet. Why? Because there are 2 variables involved. You have to substitute this x times x square. So where to get x square? You get it from here. The x square is u. So x square is u. The 1 over 2, we put it in front. So you have this format first. And then as you compare this format, the u must be a magnitude. So this is similar to format number 3. Can and the answer, as we read it, here we have a half, we put it outside. For this answer, for this format is 1 over a just now is 5, inverse secant, u, put it back u first, and then the a is 5. And then replace back the u, what was the u is dx squared. And here we simplify our constant. So that is the answer for A. So do we get the same answer? Alright. Let's try last one. Okay, everybody. Let us do F. Why don't you start first? So pause this video and try F. I will give you 5 minutes before we are to compare answer. Alright? Okay, try F. So this is the working case by recognizing first the u or the u square, okay, and then differentiate and then substitute. Okay, accordingly here this x plus 1 is again the u. Only if you get to this format, okay, such that you are ready to compare, and then you can produce the answer by recognizing first the a. Over here the a is 3. So as we could 1 over a on 3, inverse secant u over 3 plus c, replace back your u in terms of x. So that will be your final answer. And we can only apply this formula only if we can get into this format. If we cannot get into this format, then we cannot use the answer. Alright, so that's it under this topic. Thank you.